Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. My dear students, how are you again? Today we are going to make a review on chapter 6. First lesson was about the water cycle. Okay, so this is the lesson 1, which is about the water cycle. Okay. As we studied before that, most of the earth is covered by water. Okay, so if you look here on this earth, you can find that the whole blue color places are covered by water. So most of the earth is covered by water. Okay, of course water may be ocean, maybe seas, maybe rivers, lakes, and so on. Okay, so then, what is the water cycle? What is the water cycle? As you can see here that the water cycle starts by evaporation when the sun's heat warms the water from oceans and seas and lakes and so on, and then the water starts to be water vapor and goes up high in air. After that, which is the next step, condensation. Condensation means when the water vapor, changes to be water drops. When condensation happens, when the water vapor rises into the air and then gets cooler, then it changes to be water drops. This is called condensation, when water vapor changes to be water drops by cooling. Okay, because of this condensation, the clouds are formed. So now the clouds are formed. After that, after condensation, or when the clouds are formed, what could happen? So then precipitation happens. Precipitation happens when the clouds are formed. So then the clouds become heavy with water drops, and then the water starts to fall as precipitation. Precipitation may be rain, maybe snow, maybe hail. Okay. After that, which is the last stage or the last step, is the storage. When the water is falling from the clouds, then the water will be stored on earth. And some of them can return back to the ocean and seas, and the rest of them can be stored underground. Okay, so this is the water cycle. Evaporation, and then condensation, and then precipitation, and then storage. So the water cycle, is the movement of water from Earth's surface into the air and back again. It's very important because it keeps the existence of water on Earth. Okay? This is about the lesson 1 in chapter 6. Then, now, we move to the next lesson, which is lesson 2. Lesson 2. What are weather and climate? We studied something which is called weather and something which is called climate. So, what are they? First of all, we are going to study what is the weather. Okay? The weather is what the air is like outside your house, and the weather can be identified just day by day, because the weather can change from one day to another. The weather of today, maybe it's different from the weather of tomorrow. Okay? The weather includes the kinds of clouds in the sky and the amount of water in air. Okay, and also it includes the temperatures of the air and the winds and so on. Okay, so this is the weather. After that, we will study the climate. Climate is the pattern of weather in a place over many years. Okay, so the climate cannot be changed from one day to another. No. For any place or any country, the climate can be changed by maybe this will take thousands of years. So the climate is the pattern of weather in a place over many years. The climate includes the average temperature in this area, includes the amount of precipitation or rain, and also it includes the winds that found in this area. So the climate is different from the weather, that the climate cannot be changed from a day to another. Okay, and it's stable for one area. Then we studied factors that affect the climate. Why some areas and why some countries are cold for mostly the whole year, and why are some other countries are very hot mostly for the whole year. Why? Okay, what makes the climate hot? What makes the climate rainy? What makes the climate cold? Factors. First of all, the amount of sunlight that hits the earth. And we study something which is called equator. This is the line that separates between two halves of the earth, north part and the south part, or upper part and lower part. Okay, the countries or the areas that are found on the equator at the middle of the earth, these countries are exposed to the sunlight directly. So these countries are mostly hot and rainy for the whole year. The another factor is the ocean. Because if any land has ocean, or it's overlooking an ocean, so this will cause the clouds formation can happen more and more. Why? Because the ocean is water and the sunlight can evaporate this water to form the clouds. So maybe you can find a mountain at one of its side. It's rainy, cloudy and so on. But the another side, as this mountain here, is dry without clouds or rain. Why? Because the mountain prevents the movement of the clouds from this side to this side. So you can find that this side is desert. No water, no clouds. Okay? This is how the altitude or the height of any landform can affect the climate. Then, seasonal weather patterns. How the change in seasons can it change the weather? We have 4 seasons: spring, summer, autumn or fall, and winter. Okay? Some countries that are found on the equator also, okay, they just have 2 seasons. Okay? Rainy season and dry season. Okay, so the seasons can affect the weather because, for example, the winter for most of countries, the weather in winter is cold. There is no much rain. There is maybe ice. Okay, and the spring in most of countries, the flowers start to grow. Okay, so this is how the seasons can change the weather. This table here shows us some data about the change in the weather during the year according to the change in season. Okay, and as you can see here, this is the month of January, March, May, July, September, November. The high temperature in January 3 Celsius degree, and the lower temperature -4, and the average precipitation is 4 centimeter. High temperature, this temperature is measured at the daylight. So this is the hottest temperature on the day. Low temperature, this is the lowest temperature that found in this day, and this is measured at the night. Okay, this is about the lesson 2, which is weather and climate. Now we are going to move to lesson 3. Lesson 3. What tools are used to measure weather? Now we need to measure weather, to measure temperature, to measure the amount of precipitation, okay, to measure the wind speed, to determine the wind direction, to measure the atmospheric pressure or the air pressure, and so on. We are going to use many tools. First of these tools is the thermometer. The thermometer is used to measure the temperature of the air. The thermometer has 2 letters here. So these are 2 scales or 2 units for measuring the temperature. Okay, most of the world uses the C letter, which indicates to Celsius degree, F Fahrenheit degree. Okay, so mainly we use the C degrees. So the thermometer used to measure the temperature of the air. Then other tools like hygrometer, which is used to measure the amount of water vapor in air, okay, which is called humidity. You see this word, humidity. Also the wind vane and the anemometer. The anemometer measures the wind speed, but the wind vane determines the wind direction. Also here we have another tool which is used to measure the amount of rain or the amount of precipitation that fall from the clouds. It's called rain gauge. Rain gauge. Then the last tool we studied is the barometer. The barometer, this is the barometer, is used to measure something which is called air pressure. Air pressure means the weight of the air on earth, because the air has mass or has weight, so it presses on the objects that found on earth, and this tool is used to measure the air pressure. This is the lesson 3. Now we are going to review on lesson 4. Lesson 4, which is talking about how can you stay safe in severe weather. Severe weather means dangerous weather, some weather patterns or features that can cause very huge damage and harm the people and animals and objects and so on, and trees. Okay. First of all, thunderstorms. Thunderstorms mean heavy clouds, heavy rain, maybe heavy snow, lightning and thunder. How can you keep safe during a thunderstorm? Find shelter in a sturdy building. Shelter maybe like to hide, to find place to hide from the thunderstorm. Keep away from windows, water and trees. Keep away from metal objects, any objects that are made of iron. Keep away from things that use electricity. This is about the thunderstorm. Then tornadoes. Tornadoes, they are small, spinning or rotating and very fast wind. Small, very strong, very fast and spinning or rotating winds. They come down from thunderstorm clouds. They start suddenly. You cannot predict, you cannot know when or where this tornado can happen. Okay, so it just happened suddenly. So, if we have a tornado, how can we keep safe during tornado? Go to the basement or an inside room. Crouch under the stairs or near an inner wall. Stay away from windows. Cover your head. This is the tornado. After that, hurricanes. The hurricanes, it's like the tornado, yes. It's very strong wind. It's very strong wind, but it's not spinning, and it's very large, not small as the tornado. And you can predict, or you can know when any hurricane can happen, or where. Yes, you can predict this, which is unlike the tornado. How can you keep yourself safe during the hurricane? Move away from the ocean, because it starts from the ocean, not from the clouds as the tornado. Bring loose objects inside. Again, loose objects means the objects that can be easily broken. Stay inside and away from windows. Store etc. food and water in your home. Okay, this is all about the review on chapter 6. And if you want to review more and more, or you need more details about the lessons that found on chapter 6, you can return back to the videos of explanation of chapter 6. Thank you so much for joining us. See you soon inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.